Today is a great opportunity to talk about the balance between our personal life and our business life, especially for professionals and business people. Let's know all about this from our life coach today. Anne-Marie, could you please introduce yourself and what do you do for business?
Of course. So my name is Anne-Marie Debriel, and I am a certified life coach. What I do is I help, and I specialize in the domain of bringing life balance to business professionals so that they have a life they love to live. I've been doing this for a little over a year now, and I have just really started full-time doing my business in August, beginning of August, end of July. And but prior to that, I have a blog where people can go and see what I've written. I share a lot of my personal stories that might help people relate. I also have a website. I have a newsletter that I sent to my mailing list as well. And I'm in the middle of writing a book right now.
Wow, interesting. So basically you bring the balance back to their life. Could you explain a little more on what causes the imbalance basically? What are the main
Well,
reasons?
often it will be stress from work. Feeling like you're under pressure and you can't get like you want to perform for your boss, you want to get a promotion, so you do the best you can. However, that kind of takes over your life. Like your work becomes everything. And that's where I was at. Like literally I would come home, I would work 80 hours a week. And like, I wouldn't spend any time with my cats and my family and, and my friends. It wasn't my priority. And I felt guilty every time they wanted to spend time with me and I would be so tired by the time I had time off. I was still working, thinking about work. And so my life was always work. Like yeah. The only time I would have a respite from it would be during sleep time. And even I was probably dreaming about it, right? And so it causes stress because if your life is not in balance, you start forgetting to pay your bills. You start forgetting to do the important things, to pay attention to those people that are important in your life.
So my question is like for many people, especially entrepreneurs and the startups and people starting their own business, they have to put in a lot of effort, a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, and a lot of time. And then you come in, Miss Anne-Marie, and you ask them, okay, I'm going to instill balance into your imbalanced life. How can people sacrifice time and effort for rest and having fun while they have a lot of work to do?
I'm going to say slow down to speed up. And somebody told me that once. And it made a lot of sense. And what I mean by that is you need to take care of yourself. You need to have a routine where you're gonna show self-love, whatever it is for that person. And really, I still work a lot. I have my own business. I still work probably 60 hours a week, but I still have a life balance for me. Some people, 40 hours a week, and the rest at home is what their balance is. It's different for everyone. And so that's what one of the first thing I do with a person is their vision, their values, and also what does work-life balance look for them.
And so if you are going to bring balance into their life, what are the benefits? Why would people care about bringing balance back into their lives?
Well, that's a really good question, Nour. Because if you don't have that, you start not performing as well at work. Like I know I was making mistake. I was getting frustrated very quickly. I was not performing to the best of my ability because I was tired all the time. And then on top of that, your personal relationship, your intimate relationships suffer as well. I've seen people because they don't have a good work-life balance getting divorced. They lose their kids sometimes. They lose, and that's not cool. That's not what people want, right? So for me personally, it was really having that It's really having that balance that will honor both sides of your life, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So my question is, what is this balance exactly? What do you mean by the word balance?
Well, what I mean is having enough time for the person themselves so that they can have a routine, they can have time to exercise, they have time to eat, they have time to do those things that they enjoy in life, travel, vacation, whatever that looks like for that person, having time to go meet a friend for coffee, having spending a night with the kids and maybe and the husband with watching a great movie, right? Or going out to the bar with the girls or the boys, right? So
Yeah.
it's different for everyone. There is as many types of things as there is people in this on this earth.
Yeah, that's very nice. Okay, my other question is, what are your techniques? How do you train your customers?
So it's very much because it's so individual. We start with everybody starts with finding the values, what the person values, what their vision for their life is, what they want their life to look like, what's important to them, and their mindset. Like, because often what happens is that a person has beliefs that are not necessarily maybe used to serve them, but don't serve them anymore, right? Um, Sorry. And then also just after that, then we look at the life balance and each part of a person's life, their personal relationship, their work, their personal duties at home, right? Paying bills, cleaning, all of that stuff, their personal improvement, right? And so looking at all of those part of the life that should be balanced. And then through that survey or that exercise that we do, then they can see where it's out of balance and where they would like to first start to bring it back into balance. And then we go from there. We look at limiting beliefs. We make a plan for them, for that person. And then we start working on those actions. And then I'm their cheerleader. I tell them when they're maybe going in the wrong direction. If they need a little help, a little boost, they can give me a call or shoot me an email. And at which point I will help them out the best I can. The program is a 12-week program and it's 10 sessions. So we have a break where they like, it's a break, but it's a week where they go, and like get a lot of that stuff done that they need to, the actions that they need to get done.
Yeah, on your program, on these sessions, are there certain questions you ask to your clients?
Besides the first one, which is like, what do you value? And then we look at all of the person's characteristics value. Do they value authenticity, support, family? What is it, their top 4 or 5 values? And then what their vision is. It's so individual because there's a vision for each person in the world. My vision probably might be similar, but it's still different than yours, right? And then that's why after that, and then we do the exercise, but after that, it's very individual because each person has their own definition of their life balance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's very true. And while you are working on fixing these imbalanced lives, what are the main blocks hindering them from getting to their goals?
So I don't like to use fixing because nobody's broken.
Okay.
But people have beliefs that have served them from their past when they were kids. An example would be that they believe like me, I was raised on a farm where the family works. Everybody works, and it's from morning. If you're not at school, you're basically working, and you may have a little bit of time off in the evening, or maybe once a month we go to a restaurant, or if we have time, then we'll watch a movie. but the focus is very much on work, because it was a lot of work all the time, and you need all of the hands of everyone in the family. And that was since I was 8 that I started doing that. So for me, one of my belief was like, well, if you want to make it in this world, you have to work hard. You can't take time for yourself. It's not okay, right? But that's not true. That's not true. It's important. I'm doing amazing right now, and I spend some of my morning reading. I do meditation. I exercise every morning, and I take the time I need to have breakfast, take a shower, and then I get to work, right? If today is a great example, I was part of a meeting and I did a lot of work on myself, and I needed a time to go take a walk, and I had to give myself that permission, because I would not have done really good work afterwards. My conversation with the people I was talking with would not have been great. Right? I might have come across frustrated or distant. And so people have, from when they were kids, they pick up those little beliefs that right now might not, they work for them, right now it doesn't. And sometimes you don't even know what those are.
Yeah, precisely. And when was your best moment so far while working in this career?
So I have this one lady that's also starting her coaching business, and she's more of a nutrition business life coach. And when I first started with her, she didn't know what to do, and her life balance was a little different. For example, hers was, she was hardly ever working on her stuff, but she was wondering why it wasn't getting anywhere. She was spending all her time dealing with personal stuff and not on her business. And that happens too, right? And now she's more focused. She's spending almost, at least 5 times a week, 5 days a week. She focuses on her business. Now she has her cooking book has just come out. And she's got 3 clients now. And, so she's really, she's really improved. And it's so amazing to see somebody coming into what they need, who they are and who they want to be, and loving their life for maybe the first time in a really long time.
Yeah, certainly. May I ask you a personal question? Like, have you ever had a coach yourself?
Oh, absolutely. So when I first started a couple years ago, I did get a coach. It wasn't short term. It was 3, but we went over my values. We went over my limiting beliefs and how to, not necessarily erase those, but more like do new patterns in my brain, kind of, right? That I can fall back on. And I had amazing realization, and I knew at that point that was for me. That's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to create that in other people. And then in March, I got myself a coach to help me with my business, because I had no idea where to start. I can do a lot of coaching, and I'm great at coaching, but I've never had a business. So somebody to help me gain ground on that. And she brought me to where we are today. And actually, I just signed up for a group coaching where they're helping me a step further in my business, as well as with my mindset, because, well, sometimes you need help with that too when it comes to business. If you have a certain mindset on money, right, it's going to be harder to ask people for money.
Yeah, exactly. How big is the part that mindset plays in your business?
How do you mean? Sorry.
Like, how do people's minds affect the reaction to your training? How much do you need to affect their thinking and their brains?
A lot, because everything you do is based on your beliefs. It's based on You know, when somebody says it's my truth, it's really their beliefs, it's how they were brought up, it's how, you know, it's true for them, it's their reality. It might not be exactly what's happening, it might not be the truth, but that's what's true for them. And so if that's blocking them for getting better, if somebody has is not confident in themselves and they think they're not enough, for example, or they don't deserve a great relationship, they probably will never have a great relationship until you dig into why that is. Why do they think they're not enough? Because is that the truth? It's not, but it's their truth. It's what they believe. So
Why
it's
do
huge.
why do people need help to discover what they already have?
Often because if you're in it, that's what happens. You have blinders, you can't see anywhere else. And having a person ask you the right questions, make you think differently, make you look at things in a different way, ask you questions that nobody else will ask, will kind of like direct the brain, direct the thoughts in the right directions so that you can find those things. Did I answer your question?
Certainly. How was your journey before you stepped up to have your own business?
Well, I was a retail manager. So I worked in a store as a manager. And you know, you would think that it's not that huge. It's just you're just selling stuff, right? But to be honest, it was so stressful. It was so stressful all the time because I I literally was not letting myself do the work at work so I could do it at home. I had that, right? I had that limiting belief that I had to always be working. So I would almost procrastinate at work and then bring my work home. And so that's a few years ago when I woke up one morning and I was like, what am I doing? What is happening to me? Who am I? I didn't even know who I was or what I wanted out of life. And that's another thing is like once you have direction, that stress really pulls away. That balance, you're able to see that it's important to have that balance. And so I did that work. That's when I got that coach. That's when I started doing the training in life coaching and doing the exercise myself. And I'm a different person now. I know what I want. I know I'm going to have I knew I wanted my business. Now I have my business. I'm going to make it super successful. I'm going to help and impact the business world so that they can live a more balanced life and love the life they live, because there's no reason for people not loving their life. Zero.
And so, what are your main recommendations and advice for people to at least to embrace the real selves and try to improve their lives?
Well, first of all, I think it's important for somebody to recognize that they can have a better life, that either work is not the whole thing, that stress is not everything, and that it's manageable. That's the first step. If you don't recognize that, then if you're okay with the way life is right now, it's not going to change. The first thing that needs to change is the fact that you want to change. If the need to change is greater than the need to remain the same, you're going to want to make those changes, and that's what's needed.
Oh yeah, that's a big saying. That's
Yeah, it's
amazing.
huge.
Yeah. What else would you like to say?
You know, I just want to say that, like, whether people want coaching or whether people want to become a life coach, you can make your life so much better by balancing those. You're important. What you want is important. Work is not everything. The family is not everything. Peer pressure is not everything at all. It is really important that you take care of yourself, because once you take care of yourself, you will find a life that you love and you'll be able to give to others what they need from you.
Yeah, it has been more than awesome talking to you, Anne-Marie, today. I really appreciate your
Thank
great
you.
insights and great input. Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you, Nour.